Hey, what's up YouTube? You already know it's All City Live TV and thank you for tuning in. Is the new and improved perimeter lockdown called a sharpshooter? Bear with me guys, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking sharpshooter, they have limited mobility, they don't have any playmaking badges, they can't dribble, there's no defense for the sharpshooter. A lot of people have this misconception about sharpshooters. So I've been in the player builder the last few days just going through different builds, and we came across an interesting build while we were playing on live stream yesterday, and he was called the paint beast, but he was able to dribble, he was able to shoot, he was able to go into the paint and bang out. So there was so many interesting things about a player that was labeled the paint beast but was able to shoot and dribble, and he was super fast, moved like a point forward. So again, I got into the player builder last night and I was hella interested in that build. I actually recreated the paint beast build that I was playing against. I ended up trying out some other different builds, which I have been doing the last few days, and I came across, I wanted to create a perimeter lockdown. This was my goal last night. I ended up wanting to create a perimeter lockdown to kind of help pull me through to legend. We're trying to get to this legend status, and the homie Chrome Antenna just hit legend yesterday, and it was super inspiring. I was super excited for our homie Chrome Antenna. Shout out to him. Go check him out on his channel. He has some great content on there. You might want to check him out. He's one of the best players, period, point blank. Put him against pros, put him against park, put him against stage players. He's gonna dominate out there. You might want to check him out. But anyway, he inspired me to kind of create some new builds as well. So I wanted to create a perimeter lockdown, and I was going through all of the stats, and I ended up on a sharpshooter. I'm gonna show you guys why the sharpshooter is now the new and improved perimeter lockdown. Let's get into it right now. All right guys, so this is the sharpshooter build. Now when I was going into this build, I wanted a high amount of defense, I wanted mobility, and I wanted to be able to move quickly on offense as well. So I wanted to be able to have some playmaking badges, and I wanted to make sure that I would be able to create plays myself out there. So let's go through the stats real quick. As you guys can see, he has an 81 close shot, 74 driving layup. There's no limitations in the paint, not an extreme amount of limitations in the paint. A 78 driving dunks, which put him at 82 when you hit 99 out there with this player, which is really good. Above 80, you get some additional animations for your driving dunk, and that's super awesome right there. So I thought that was great for finishing when considering making a sharpshooter. You're gonna have the long athlete layup package available to you with this player as well. So I thought that was super great too, because it's one of the components that I use tremendously when trying to finish in the paint. And if people are guarding a sharpshooter, they don't expect you to go into the paint. So my whole theory with this build, and why I found it so interesting, this build in particular, and it being labeled a sharpshooter, is because when you're labeled a sharpshooter, the defense plays you differently. They're gonna play you high up at the perimeter, and if you're able to finish in the paint while they're trying to attempt to play you high up at the perimeter, then it gives you a little bit of an advantage out there. And that's one of the things I found so interesting. 80 mid-range, 80 three-point shot, 88 free throw, 80 post fade. You got 18 shooting badges at your disposal, and they all go to Hall of Fame. I want to tell you guys that the pie charts that I used was a speed and vertical pie chart for your physical pie chart, and I also used the red and green pie chart, defense and shooting pie chart, because my goal was to make a perimeter lockdown like I mentioned before. But again, keep in mind what I'm telling you guys. Your label, what the defense is going to see when they start a game with you, is going to be labeled a sharpshooter. So my whole goal behind this, similar to like what Brother Joan does when he creates a slasher build where his player card says slasher, but he's able to shoot crazy greens out there. I wanted to kind of reverse that whole idea and make a sharpshooter that's able to play a tremendous amount of defense and able to finish in the paint. He has 4 finishing badges at his disposal. And we're gonna try this all out on live stream. As you guys know, the videos that we upload here, we end up taking this to our live stream later on in the day, as we live stream every single day on 5 different platforms simultaneously. That's Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, DLive, and we also live stream right here on YouTube. So if you guys want to see how I play with this build, I've already upgraded him to 85, and we're gonna take him out into the live stream to see how he does. Another thing that I found interesting was his pass accuracy and ball handle. He's gonna have a 75 ball handle with a 79 pass accuracy, but he has 9 playmaking badges. They go to gold, but that means that you're gonna have handles for days on gold. You're gonna have quick first step on gold. That's 6 badges right there. You can distribute any other badges, the remaining 3 on like bailout silver and unpluckable on bronze. You're not gonna dribble too much with this player, but you got enough playmaking badges to kind of create a play, which is what I found so important, because again, the main aspect of this build is that people think you're a sharpshooter, so they create these limitations for your particular build. This is what I found so interesting. Perimeter defense at an 84, and that's only at 85. Imagine when you get to 99, what you're gonna have out there. It's gonna be extremely OP, at least in my opinion. Let alone you allow me to hit legend. Forget about it. We're gonna go crazy. A 72 lateral quickness. Let me explain my lateral quickness to you guys. As you guys can see, my speed is at 84, and the reason why I thought it was important to have a good amount of speed is because, again, the defense considers sharpshooters to have limited mobility. So I wanted to make sure my speed was high enough with an 82 acceleration, and look at the vertical at 89. Great attributes. The lateral quickness I dropped down to 72 because of what I noticed from my experience playing the game. I'm an Elite 3. If you guys don't know out there, I'm an Elite 3. I just hit Mascot, which is super great, and we're grinding to Legend. Ton of experience playing the game in Park, Rec, Pro-Am, all sorts, playing against all sorts of players. And what I've noticed is, and I've developed a lot of players myself, is that a higher lateral quickness for some players means that you're gonna over pursue many times. So 2K, being that your lateral quickness seems too high, makes you move a little sluggish moving left to right. So I'm figuring, this is a theory of mine, and you guys let me know if you've experienced the same thing, because I experienced it and talked about it in a previous video with my two-way slashing playmaker, where he would over pursue going left to right, and it'll give this real sluggish animation trying to regain some control of my player and trying to go back left. So if I'm over trying to play defense moving to the right, if he crosses over, my opponent crosses over, goes to the left, my player will just take another 1.5 seconds to be able to move back over to the left, almost like if he was unresponsive. But it was a whole animation that 2K would give me, and I really didn't like that, and I had a high lateral quickness. I created a slashing playmaker which didn't have as high a lateral quickness as my two-way slashing playmaker, and I played 10 times, maybe even 20, 30, 40, 50 times better defense than my two-way slashing playmaker. So I figured we're gonna lower the lateral quickness, as it's gonna be a theory of mine, and we're gonna test this out on live stream. I lowered it to 72, which means when you go into your stats, the next thing is gonna drop down to 70, and I'm thinking 70 is gonna be a good sweet spot for lateral quickness. 85 steal, 80 block. You're gonna be a perimeter defender with an 80 block. And you're talking about, this is not even at 99. At 99, these attributes are going to increase. A defensive rebound of an 85. And to top it all off, you have 18 defensive badges that all go to Hall of Fame. If this is not sounding crazy to you, as interesting as it sounded to me, what topped everything off was that he was labeled a sharpshooter. I didn't know I was gonna make a build that was labeled a sharpshooter. I just was putting the stats where I saw fit, what I wanted out of my player, what I was expecting, because I've become really good at creating players that evolve into what they meet my expectations. So right now we're trying to create another player that would meet my expectations, and I've never created a player with Hall of Fame shooting badges. So you got Hall of Fame shooting badges, Hall of Fame defensive badges, you can dribble, you have a high amount of speed, a high amount of mobility, you can jump super high with an 89 vertical, and you're gonna have rebound chaser on Hall of Fame. You're 6'6". We're gonna move on over because I'm super excited about this. We're gonna go on over the player build. I'm pretty sure I pick build. We're gonna go on over to 6'6". He has a 81 speed, 79 acceleration, 84 vertical. My fault. I should have mentioned that earlier. When you go to 6'6", you drop down, but that's okay. We're gonna drop down to 180, so we want that mobility. You feel what I'm saying? You want that extreme mobility. That's what I'm looking for. So we're gonna go down to 180, and we're gonna put his wingspan to 79.9. And when you put his wingspan to 79.9, you get the 82 mid-range, the 81 3-point shot, increase in your ball handle. You sacrifice your steal, but you still at 80 steal and a 78 block, which is tremendous for you. Listen, you're trying to be a perimeter defender out there, and these badges is what's gonna help you pull through. This is why I found this so important. We're gonna continue on. This is gonna be interesting for a lot of people. What takeover can you choose? Can you guys, if you followed us on our live streams, you should probably already know what takeover I'm gonna choose. Now mind you, this build is labeled a sharpshooter. I'm going to select the Playmaking Takeover. And again, the reason why I'm stressing this so much to you guys is because it's sort of playing mind games with the defense. You're gonna have a sharpshooter, a build that's called the sharpshooter. If there's any veterans out there, I move my webcam over here. Again, if there's any veterans out there, you guys know that if you're playing against a sharpshooter, they have limited defense, they're limited in their mobility, they're not gonna dribble. If the build is actually labeled a sharpshooter, you're already creating these limitations on the player. You're not gonna expect a playmaking takeover, let alone if you have a lights out jump shot with the playmaking takeover that catches ankles left and right. You're gonna be shooting with your Hall of Fame shooting badges. You're gonna play tremendous on defense. You're gonna have absolutely locked down defense with 18 defensive badges that go up to Hall of Fame. So you're talking about gold or Hall of Fame clamps out there with a ton of other badges, other defensive badges to accommodate your defensive play. We're gonna go right into it. I'm gonna select playmaking. Let's complete this build here, and you guys are going to see we have a build that's labeled a sharpshooter. In my opinion, this is the new and improved perimeter lockdown. I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we're gonna have a ton of NBA 2K20 content coming your way. I'll catch you guys on the next video.